Welcome home. We are WNST, AM 1570, Towson, Baltimore, and Baltimore Positive. Happy post-4th of July. As we come to you, the Orioles are playing before no one out in the Bay Area. We're playing pretty good baseball right now. Our friends at the Maryland Lottery are putting us back out on the road next Friday. The Maryland Crab Cake Tour in its 4th year now with the Maryland Lottery in conjunction with our friends at Liberty Pure Solutions and Jiffy Lube Multi-Care. I will have these. I'll have the Gold Rush Sevens doublers. Not quite red, white, and blue, just red and gold, but we'll have these on the 12th. The Yankees are in town. These do not have pinstripes, and these stripes don't run. We'll be there from 2 until 5, maybe even earlier. It's going to be a good day. Come down to Fadley's and serve the delicious crab cakes that I served to my friends on our 4th of July celebration. This guy, he was ducking me earlier in the week, and I said, you know what? Let's do some baseball here after the Seattle series. Let's see how much of John Martin's money we can give away. The Maryland Lottery, of course, sponsors the Home Run Riches contest. Yeah, you know, Henderson Westberg added to it out in Seattle. 2 out of 3 ain't bad, as Meatloaf would say. Seth Elkin is here. He is, he's given up that Pirates hat for the Orioles hat. I think the Orioles are kind of winning him over a little bit with his baseball nerddom and looking up statistics and stuff. This is quite a baseball team, is it not, Seth? I mean, from any account, anywhere, watching this unfold on a day-by-day basis, I got to correct myself. The first place Baltimore Orioles. I like saying that because we haven't had a whole lot of time. But the first place Baltimore Orioles out in Oakland. It's been quite a week since the last time you and I got together. Sky was falling after the Houston series, right?
We love saying that the Orioles are in first place around here because regardless of whether you're a Pirates fan like me, which I am, or an Orioles fan, it's always fun to put down the Yankees. And to stick it to the Yankees fans around here when the Orioles finally do overtake them. So that's been a lot of fun to watch here this week. And since the last time we talked, we got the All-Star rosters. I know I was hoping that we were going to get 3 Orioles starters in the All-Star game, and we almost did. We got a bunch of guys into that final round of voting, and I was disappointed that Ryan Mountcastle didn't end up beating out Vladimir Guerrero for that first base spot because I thought
it was amazing. They took those guys down to the old-time Photoshop in Ocean City, and they did all the social media gunslinging and did all that stuff. Listen, the All-Star game isn't what it used to be. And, I attended that All-Star game up in Pittsburgh back in the 90s with all the juice balls and McGriff hitting home runs into the upper deck and Lee Smith and all of that stuff at Three Rivers. I remember all that. This summer, though, I think it's been even more special where even 4th of July, they're playing out on the West Coast, had friends over, everybody's monitoring the game, everybody's watching the game. But even as a Pirates fan, and I'm not beating on you, and certainly John had his fun with me last week with the Cleveland Guardians saying first place Guardians. There is something that when you're a lowly, no offense to the Guardians, the Pirates, or the Orioles, we're all kind of lowly when I add up the championships that none of us have this century or anytime recently. And while your best pitcher's pitching for the Yankees and coming in here to beat us next week down at Fadley's, and, we watch Messina go leave and Britton, and, so we've been through all of that as fans. It's not often you get to say first place. I mean, and that's one thing I think out in the Twitter community that I try to avoid a little bit because I don't need to be in fights on the internet with Oriole fans about anything, right? But they like to fight amongst themselves because it's a sports fan thing. But that whole first place thing is, I mean, dude, I've been on the air 32 years. I would really have to add up. 97, it was wire to wire. I was here for all that. 14, we had some fun. But, dude, I'm talking about and it wasn't like we were in first place at the end of April and had a good start, or we had one of those years with this Palmeiro year, 04, 05. We had a good first half, and then Palmeiro and the Pointy and no Speaky and all that. I would just say first place on the air, how many days in my 32 years, and I've done, we're talking 15,000 days of radio, less than a couple hundred, and then other than those, none. There are years, decades that went where you're not in first place for a day, and you're a Pirates guy and you understand that. So these are the good days. When I try to tell young people this is 69, 70, 71. We're in that phase where they can win a World Series. And I haven't been able to open the microphone and say that out loud much in my adulthood.
It's exciting. And how great is it that they're leading the major leagues in home runs while we've got a promotion tied to home runs?
I knew you'd do the math on that, Seth. Give it to me, man. Where are we with the math?
I got to go look it up myself. They're hitting them so fast that I can't keep track of it here. But leading the majors as we speak? I've got to go. But
Well,
I
you know
had it
what?
up on my tab.
Let me segue this for you, because when I did the 25th anniversary documentary, you were good enough to watch it. We talked about it. Your background in newspapers and my background in newspapers. Every night I had to, when Ken Rosenthal was the beat writer, Jim Henneman, the press box, they were my colleagues. Every night I was the one in charge of updating the Orioles stats, because like we had to get it right in the paper. We couldn't wait on the Elias Sports Bureau to update it, AP. I was the manual guy. I was the overlord of the Orioles, and I would always compare them to what the Morning Sun had, because we had, make sure I had the stats right. And then at the end of the day, they would send out the official stats, and you could double check them. But I put them in the paper, and if Mountcastle and Westberg hit home runs, I had to do that tally. And I know you and Doug Lloyd are in charge of this down there at the Maryland Lottery, right?
Yeah, every day you can go on the Home Run Riches promotion page and see the tally, and we're a little behind here at the moment as I'm looking. We got to get a couple of games updated here from the
Because you don't have a
holidays.
Nestor in the middle of the night on the 4th of July having to update every stat.
But having worked in a newsroom, I know exactly what that's like. I
Daddy,
know.
you know that I know that you know, right?
So yeah, at any rate,
They're
it's
going to hit
awesome.
5 more today anyway. So whatever number you give me, they're going to
Yeah,
have.
against the Oakland A's, that number's going to go up here. So
As long as they don't hit foul balls. There's too much
we're
foul territory in Oakland.
and lots of empty seats there.
The
Many,
best
many,
game
many empty
I
seats.
reminisce this week, the best baseball game I ever saw in person, and I've seen 57 World Series games in person. Like I've been to a lot of games. I saw the Leyritz home run. I was Joe Carter. I saw a lot of great baseball games, game sevens, the whole deal. The best baseball game I ever saw was at that stadium. Was the Oakland A's and the Red Sox. It was the Johnny Damon got carted off at that game, and the crotch chop game, and Miguel Tejada and Barry Zito and like all of that. Pedro, real nasty game 5 knockout back in '04, and the Red Sox went to win the World Series, but and Tejada came here after that. But I like that stadium. I like that better than Seattle, where we didn't hit any home runs, because nobody hits any home runs in Seattle.
Got a couple that last game. That was nice. I know, and almost a third one. Westberg ended up hitting one. He almost hit a second one in the last game of that series. So
You were watching on the 4th of July,
I
weren't you?
absolutely was watching. Yes, and I got to keep up with it because I've told you as a couple of times before. My mom is from here originally, and she is a huge Orioles fan. She's watching every game. So if I'm not watching, I
So your
get text
mother's going to
messages.
cry when the
I
Orioles win
get
the World Series? Is that
I
really going to
get text
happen?
messages from her as the game's in
Well,
progress.
this
So
should make you happy. If your mother's happy, come on, Elkin. I want to see an Oriole hat in that office of all that Penguins stuff. Seth Elkin is here. He is the director of communications, helps us with telling stories, and he's a baseball guy. He's one of my baseball guys. So we all know about the promotion. Kevin Brown reads it when their bases are loaded. We can win a lot of money. Give everybody soup to nuts on Home Run Rich. It's just top to bottom, because we always see it, but we don't always give all the rules and give all the and how to play and how to get involved and how to have your name being the one read in September when the home runs start to really matter.
yep, it's you still got a couple of months left here. We do the drawings a month at a time. So all the winners through the month of July have already been selected, but you still got a shot to enter your $5 Home Run Riches bases loaded fast play tickets. That's the mechanism to entry. You buy those tickets at any lottery retailer, enter them into your My Lottery Rewards account, and you'll have a shot of being one of those winners for the games in August or September. We still got 2 months left, and an awful lot of home runs at the rate that this team is hitting them. So plenty of time to still get in on that, and lots of other things that we've got going on.
For the Orioles and for where we are, we're really close to Ravens season too, right? Do you have something coming up with Ravens too, right?
Yep, the Ravens second chance. The Ravens scratch off tickets will come in August, and then there's a second chance contest that'll get started with that. Of course, that everybody anticipates. You have the big enchilada there is the Ravens seats for 20 years that we love giving away. We have so much fun with that. But
Well, I had
lots
that
of other
winner on too, and I would tell anybody the fellow that won that is a big Raven fan. He's taking his daughters to the game, but more than that, he's coming back on during a Cup of Super Bowl because he works with people with challenges with
right.
drug abuse and alcohol, and a really good man. And so I had him him on. And then last year we had Home Run Riches winners on with Barbara Jean, but the winner last year who won the seat on the Jacksonville trip came on with me and was like Roquan Smith was giving him cheesecake on the plane. So like, when you get those kinds of stories and the fan gets taken in on the plane when they win, and they win a lot around here, as Joe Flacco once said to me, we win a lot around here. It's even more fun, and people really do win, and they get to go do these awesome things.
Now, and the My Lottery Rewards is the mechanism for all of that, and we certainly encourage anybody to get involved in that. But since you mentioned winning, we're at a point in the year here where we just started the new fiscal year. The state of Maryland's budget year, fiscal year goes from July through June. So we're into July now. We're at the beginning of a new fiscal year. It gives us a little bit of a milepost to look back at where we've been over the course of the last, fiscal year 2024. And you get those lists that we send out every week, and we post them on our website too. We call it the Weekend Winners, where we list off all of the winning tickets worth $10,000 or more that had been sold or redeemed over the prior 7 days. So we keep a running tally of those. And we get to the end of the fiscal year, and it's a good chance to take a look back and see where we've been. We had in fiscal year 2024 more than 1,700 prizes of $10,000 or more. And that averages out, if you do a little math, that's 33 of those a week on average, or just shy of 5 a day. $10,000 or more that are being won all over the state. So, your opportunity to win is out there all the time on all of our games. And we certainly would point anybody to our website, and you can check out the Weekend Winner posts that we do that are up there. Every Monday we get that published and we get that sent out, and a lot of media outlets will pick that up, and that's great for us to get the word out there about that. You can look for the blue Weekend Winners logo in the news section of our website, and you can read those lists week by week as they go. But just for a little fun, we had 32 prizes of $1 million or more that were awarded in fiscal year 2024. So lots of fun.
32, 1 million or more.
Or more.
That's
yeah.
one every 2 weeks, pretty much. Yeah.
Including a pair of $5 million prizes on $50 scratch-off tickets, one on the 50 years ticket that we launched last year, and then one on the $5 million cash ticket that we launched in February of this year. So we love keeping track of that stuff and love keeping people informed about just how much winning is happening. I think when I first came to the lottery 9 years ago, I think that was the thing that really amazed me about it, is that I don't think I understood the scale at which the lottery operates. You think, okay, people win the lottery, people win big prizes every once in a while. It's happening all the time. It's happening every week. We award about $4.7 million a day in prize money. That's the scale that it's happening at. So that kind of sales are going on, and it's generating that kind of winning. And that's a lot of fun for us to look at and to point people to keep everyone informed.
I don't know how Jim Kennedy does these press releases, but it is interesting to me that like this week I read it, and some weeks it catches my eye, and it always catches my eye when the word Dundalk is in it for some, it's just because where I am, and I see that we have winners, $50,000 winners in Dundalk, Hyattsville, Mount Rainier, which I think of that as being where the Orioles were this week, and Silver Spring. I have to look up where Mount Rainier, Maryland is.
That's Prince George's County. That's near Hyattsville. Yeah.
All right, good enough. All right, so I've probably been, I've probably been off in the road there. But when I see Dundalk, it catches my attention. I just want to say, I don't know where Mann's Liquors is, 6900 Holabird Avenue. I guess I'd have to look that up. It might even be the old liquor store that I used to go to. It may be renamed because my place was on Holabird Avenue, right by my high school. So when I see these places and I think, man, somebody just walked right in there and walked out $50,000, and they did it on the Gold Rush tripler. This is a double. Explain the family of games, because I'm seeing all the 777 Gold Rush 50,000 on the tripler. I've got the doubler. I had a $20 winner, not a 20,000, but I had a $20 winner at Coco's 2 weeks ago, Seth.
Yep. Every so often, a couple of times a year, usually we have what we call them the family of games. And so they're all kind of related. They're the same theme. And we launched a family of Gold Rush games in May of this year. So there are a variety of them. You've got the $1 Gold Rush Sevens, the $2 Gold Rush Doubler, and then you get up in price, you get the $5 Gold Rush Sevens Tripler. You got the $10 Gold Rush Sevens multiplier, and then there's a $20 Gold Rush 777. And, the prize structure increases, of course, as you go higher in price, but we launch those together, and it's a lot of fun like that. People can try their hand at one of those tickets and say, maybe I want to try another price point. Maybe I want to go for a higher prize. And that's something that we do again a couple times a year. You'll see a family of games. There's also a multiplier family of games that we launched earlier this year, and there was a second chance contest attached to that. I believe if I look here, that we're still coming up on the top prize in that multiplier second chance contest is going to be awarded here relatively soon. There's a $75,000 cash prize that we're going to give away through My Lottery Rewards on the multiplier family. So any of the multiplier tickets that were launched earlier this year. And the entry deadline for that's July 15th. It's coming up. So July 16th, we'll do the drawing, and we'll have a $75,000 winner. We've already awarded 4 $50,000 prizes in that multiplier second chance contest. So, look for those families of games and see if that's connected to a second chance as the multiplier was, and go have some fun with it, and see what you win. And we can't wait to meet that $75,000 winner, because that's a nice prize for us.
Well, the punchline for me is my studio air conditioning broke, and I'm in here and I'm baking, and I'm just literally, I feel like a glazed donut at Royal Farms right now. I mean, I'm a mess. So we need to get out a little bit here. You guys are getting out plenty. I know it's hot. We're all thinking beachy, pooly, and all that stuff, but certainly summertime leads to events. You guys come out and spin the wheel. You do a whole bunch of stuff out in the community this time of year.
Yeah, it's actually a little quiet here around the 4th of July and a little bit after, but we got a couple things in the latter part of July. We're going to be at the Lake Arbor Jazz Festival in Prince George's County in Mitchellville. We're going to be at the Baltimore Magazine Crab Fest. Both of those are happening July 20th. And then we'll be at an Orioles game. The Padres are coming to town. We'll be at an Orioles game in late July. And then
that's my National League team, right? The Padres. They were my team. You knew that, right?
I think I did know that. I think we've talked about that. So
I would own a Clemente jersey if it didn't say Pirates on the front, but I have worn Clemente stuff, as you know. But I only own one jersey. It's a Tony Gwynn. It's the only other than like Oriole related gear. It's the only gear I have is a Tony Gwynn jersey.
Yeah, and it's hard not to be a Tony Gwynn fan, no matter.
And it's hard not to love this jersey because it's brown and mustard and it's throwback and it's perfect 1984 Tony Gwynn home jersey. It's perfect.
At the risk of upsetting our director, John Martin, it's awfully hard to pull off basic brown in a sports jersey. It doesn't really go very well.
See, I like, this is where your Steelerdom and my Ravendom can, gang up. And listen, the Browns don't need us to gang up on them. We'll have the whole season to do that. You know what I'm saying? So you know what? I'll just say this for the summer and people going to games or going out to see the Padres game and spinning the wheel with you guys. It has really been, it's why I've done this for 32 years, waiting on summers where baseball can be this much fun. And I can talk baseball with anybody. We had a 4th of July party. Everybody's talking baseball. Your mother's talking baseball. You're talking baseball. My last name's Aparicio, so I love baseball. We're going to be talking baseball next Friday. I'll invite Seth and Roz. By the way, Roz's husband, Greg, I still haven't gotten him out, and it's a Yankee game, so I'm going to re-invite him to a perfect time, especially when they're in second place next Friday. We will have the Gold Rush Sevens doublers that Seth just told you all about, and we hope to have some more winners. It is a Maryland Crab Cake Tour. Cool off. We'll get together. We'll do it again. I don't know if the Orioles will be in first place after the All-Star break. We'll have an All-Star game in Texas. It'll be hot there. And it's just fun. It's a great summer, and we'll have a Raven scratch-offs talk about in a couple of weeks as well. Seth, enjoy the rest of the holiday. Hydrate out there, and tell John Martin to stay busy giving away all this money with all these home runs we're hitting out here.
Will do. Take care of your AC problem over there.
Seth Elkin is here, and Martin Knott is back here, and we're getting the AC fixed around here, and I'm melting on a 4th of July weekend. Big thanks to our friends at Jiffy Lube Multi-Care. They put me in my car where I can go out and get some AC, as well as Liberty Pure Solutions, and I am going to need to hydrate when all this is over with. Yeah, it's warm in here. I feel like I've been at a dance party in July. I'm Nestor. We are WNST AM 1570, Towson, Baltimore, and we never stop talking Baltimore positive.